format where the dollar value is now always onto the right. I just have to click on the accounting and say OK, and that dollar now pushes right to the leftmost side. If I want to do that for everything, I just did the one cell and I'm thinking, okay, I like that. There is now a feature in the home, this little button here, it's called a format painter. The format painter, it takes the format of the cell that you're active on. You can click on it and you'll see a little box highlight up on it. And all I want to do is I want to do all the cells the same way. So I'm just going to scroll all the way down, and that format copied from the first cell will copy all the way down. And now I've got everything formatted instead of doing every single one, or I could have highlighted them all and right-clicked and done it. But now you can see that there is some changes to the actual table. So obviously to fix it, I can just select on the table, click on the format table, and modify that again. All right, it changed on me. That's interesting. Never done that to me before. Oh, that's why. Okay. I'll clear all it. I didn't clear it. No, it didn't do it. If you don't like what you did, you can always revert back. You want the VLOOKUPs? No, somebody sent an email. I thought I closed my email. Oh, go to meeting. Linda, are you on the phone?
Yes.
Linda, what we can do is we can, if you can't see the presentation right now, we can actually send it to you later on. You sent me the email, so I'll make sure that you put that. I'll put that in there, and we'll have somebody when they actually do the editing of the video.
Okay.
They'll actually send you a copy of it, so you'll be able to see it then. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
I'm in the same position, Michael.
Okay, and that's James?
Yeah.
All right, James, we'll make sure we get you a copy. And I'm sorry?
As well, I'll send you off an email.
Sure, yeah, send me an email, just say if you can't get it, and we'll make sure that that whole list gets a copy of it for right away.
Great, thanks very much.
No problem. Okay, so now the formatting, you can change the formatting in a lot of columns. You want to actually now, we're all doing all to the leftmost. We're lining up the actual text. There are all these different ways you can adjust your formatting. You can actually go into the center format where you can actually now have everything centered in that cell so that you can see the data nice and straight. Or you can actually go back to the left. They give you all the different options where you can take, say this cell was actually a lot wider. You can see how it always jumps to the bottom. Well, now I don't want it to be in the bottom. I want it to be centered right in the cell. So no matter what do I do, it'll always stay in the center. If I want to readjust it automatically from the size that it is, I can just do the double click like I did last time, and it'll adjust the format of that cell to the height of the text, so it stays equal. Yes?
I have a question about formatting for percentages. How do you ensure that, so if you have a percentage and you want it to be a decimal percentage rather than it rounding up, how do you avoid it from rounding up?
How many decimal places are you looking?
If you're just doing, it's like 10.9%, but when you put it in as 10.9, it automatically rounds up to 11%. How do you avoid it from?
Okay, so say it's 10.9% like that,
yeah.
And I don't want to see it go round up. You see these options right here? This is increase the decimal, so I can actually make this, oh, sorry, I had the wrong cell. I can add an extra decimal point, or I can take it away. That cell is the formatting of it is to make sure that there's actually 2 decimal places in for that cell. So here it is again, actually doing it in a more visual. You got to format the cell. As you can see, it's a number, but I want to have a sample. I want 1 decimal place, or I want 2 decimal places. I want to see 3 decimal places, depending on how many you want. If you have 3 and the number is 4 numbers long, it will round to that the 3rd decimal place.
And then it shows up as a percentage, like if you still want the percentage.
Yeah, if you want the percentage, you could actually put that in. There's a percentage field there. And then now I can say percentage, I have 3 decimal places, or I just want the 2. And then I say, okay, now I'm going to see that, but it's going to have 2%. It's going to show percentages there. So actually what that number you wanted was 10.9%. So it would be 0.01. I think it is that. Oh, that's okay. So it's 0.19. No, 10.9, right?
Yeah, just for example, 10.9,
Okay.
Because it rounds it up. But
Right.
if you wanted to actually show the 10.9 and calculate properly, do a total sum.
Right, 10.9. I can't remember what is that, 100? So it's 0.1. Yeah, I guess you can say 10.9, right? But it goes to that.
10.09.
Yeah, because I'm actually putting in the percentage. The percentages are usually calculated. Entering a percentage, you'd actually have to put the value in.
I think I got it.
You know what I mean? Okay. But basically, the decimal places are reliant on yourself. You can actually add 2 decimal places. You can add 4 decimal places. You can add as many as you want, depending on your spreadsheet requirements. Let me see. We did the sorting in the feed. We did the sorting. We are looking. We've done a bit of the inserts. We could probably no. That's too much data for a chart. Let me see if I got another one that can do a chart. Yeah, that one's basic. Anybody want to get into the functions right now? Anybody interested in doing functions, if statements, and all those factors? I always like those. Start off with this one. This is actually no. Oh, actually, you asked for VLOOKUP, did you not? Let's move that into it first. I'm gonna get rid of these 2 cells. They are just kind of. I don't have the real estate on the screen right now to do that. So right now I'm looking. I want to find a part number. I want to be able to punch in a part number. This table probably goes down to 500 lines. I don't want to have to scroll up and down every time I want to look for a line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate what they call it's a VLOOKUP. It's a vertical lookup of information. And what I want to look up is I can punch in the part number, but I want to find what the price is for that part number that I punch in. Okay. So what I'm going to do is in the part number itself, or the price. The part price is where I'm going to create the formula. And there's lots of different ways in Excel to actually create a formula. You can actually use the standard feature as you got this bar here, which is the formula bar.
I'm actually on a conference
And you
call
can
right now.
actually insert the formula by clicking on it, and it'll give you that option to type in the formula. So you said you want to do a lookup. There's lots of different types of lookups. It won't find that, but I can do a VLOOKUP. And it'll find me VLOOKUP, lookup, and HLOOKUP. And I'm going to do VLOOKUP. Now this is one way. It gives you a lot of explanation on how to create a formula. This is nice because it gives you a lot of information on each cell as you go along. And you can actually click on this. It'll shrink it up and you can select the formulas you want. And when you find it, it'll actually put it in there. But the best way to do it, as far as I know, is if I want, oops, what happened there? Okay. Degraded audio video, bud. Okay. So let's do a formula here. I'm just going to move this over because it's going to give you a little more space into the center. I'm going to want to do a VLOOKUP. I'm always going to start my formulas with an equal sign. And after the equals sign, I'm going to start typing in VLOOKUP. It's automatically going to find that function for me. All I need to do now is double click, and the VLOOKUP function starts up. And it's giving me all the different information there. As you can see, there's VLOOKUP. It's opened up with a bracket to allow the function to complete. The first thing it needs now is the lookup value. So the lookup value is the cell here. This is where I'm going to be punching in the part number. So I'm going to enter that, and it's going to come back with that cell number, the address. I'm going to move on now. I just have to put a comma in there to separate that piece of information with the next piece of variable that I need, or next condition. That condition would be the table array. What am I looking up? I am actually looking up in this table, but I need to define the table size, or what the size, where that information is going to sit. So I'm going to click on the first cell, and I'm just going to bring it all the way down, right to the last piece of data. Then I can just move back up, and it's got that information in there. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. And then I just put my comma at the end, and it moves me to the next piece of information that it's needed for this VLOOKUP, and this is the column index number. The column index number represents in that array that you are currently have selected, how many columns over is that going to be. What I'm looking for is the part price. So if I look at the table here, this would be the column 1, that would be column 2, this would be column 3, and that is the part price. So in this value for the column index, it's going to be 3. And then I'm just going to push my comma to finish the last thing. Now what I'm looking here, it's asking for a true or false statement. The true or false statement is basically, if I put false there, it means it's going to find the exact match. In a data like this, it's going to be an exact match. But if you're looking at things like, what do you call it? You look at a range of value from 1 to 10, 10 to 100, 100 to 1,000. You could have numbers in between there on your records, and you want to come to the closest number. That would be more an approximate match. But in this case, I'm looking for the exact match, so I'm going to say false. I've met all the conditions now. The last thing I need to do is I have an open bracket in the front. I need to close the bracket in the end, and I hit enter. Now you're going to see an NA in here. The NA is because I don't have a part number in here yet. So what I need to do is I need to enter the part number. I could do it any way. I can actually say, okay, well, I'll just grab this one. I'll copy this part number, and I'll just throw it in the cell it needs to look at and hit enter. And I'm going to return that value now. So now that value, we can verify at 818 is $24.18. Now, as you can see, there's no formatting in there, but we can fix that too, because all we have to do now is just right-click, click Format Cell. I can change it to the currency, make sure I have 2 decimal places, and then say OK. Now the part number is going to show up with a value. Now, say I wanted to know, I don't want to look up A18 anymore. I want to find out, I think A52, because I think that's the bottom of the list. Oh, A0052. And as you see, I've got a small a in there now, but everything down here is still a big capital A. Well, it has a problem with it. It has to match it. It has to be the same as the value in the cell. So to correct that, we just go A0052. No, you know what? I think this table didn't go that far. A50. See, it's going to A50 because of the actual headers. The column rows, or these numbers here, are not matching because I'm actually starting at point 3. I'm row 3. So actually, I can't go to 52. I need to go to 50 because that is the last number in the list.